Right. We are live as of this point. Yes, it says we're live. Okay, so we're live, so hopefully we've got no manky audio problems this time, but who cares? Who knows?
Okay, let me just load up your stream and double check things.
I will.
Oh my god. It does in fact appear as though the audio is properly fixed.
Well,
that is actually
That's
incredible.
amazing.
Thank you so much to Oozlu for fixing that. It's only taken us a couple of hours out of the game, but well worth it because that's been bugging me for so fucking long. And yes. So we are.
And to think, how bad has it been bugging you, despite the fact that you're the one who hasn't been having to listen to it?
Well, I know, but there is a certain sort of level of quality I like to maintain in my boominess, and
Yes.
and even that was really bad.
It's truly incredible. It's actually good audio.
Now that we have covered the now fixed audio of Trig's stream, who would like to give us a special 10th episode recap of the story so far? If all of you want to chip in and aid with the process of retelling the story so far, okay, I would encourage you to do so. Anybody giving any reasonable degree of contribution will earn themselves a DM inspiration.
Are we covering just what happened in the last episode, or are we covering everything up until now? Because
everything up until now. This is a 10th episode one-off due to the simple fact that, well,
okay,
it's entirely possible that certain individuals may be unfamiliar with how things have been going so far.
Guys,
let me have a quick bash.
Episode.
Let me have a quick bash.
Episode.
Shut up! Let me have a bash. Fuck's sake! Don't talk. Right, I'm gonna do it. Okay, we met in a bar. We got pissed. We then went off to town. We sold some booze. Theo stabbed a dude. Grace broke somebody's arm. I pissed in a barrel and impressed a dwarven guy. We then went off. We got some stuff. We met a lizard man and found that he'd killed all the goblins anyway, and then made us eat them. We then met up with his kobold friends. We fucked off with them. Found a house. House has got a dagger in it that was clearly cursed. We picked up the dagger. We're now being chased around by a bunny that we killed after it nearly killed us. And then we got to a village. Had a bit of a drink. Some mistakes were made. We then had a fight with an old woman who wasn't an old woman. We decapitated her and threw her in a well in front of her brother. He was then traumatized. He was the father of the priest. Or no, he was the priest, rather, father of the whatever. Father Gregory, that was his name. And anyway, then we robbed the old woman's house because, what was she going to do with it? She'd got no head anymore. We found that she was still alive. So we brought her back to Father Gregory. Father Gregory was very, very happy to see her alive again. She gave us a holy hand grenade to deal with any further nastiness, and then we all decided to level up. And I think that's it.
That is actually pretty accurate.
Well, yes, there are a few relatively minor details that have been left out, but
minor insignificant details like me beating the absolute crap out of Chase.
Or Chase, the fact that
Chase pulling war crimes off on small, cute little animals.
That's right.
Yes, that also
Scrack fighting with Grace. Also, the pissing in the barrel is after meeting Scrack when we came back for supplies before heading off and find him. We actually
also that it was Chase that picked up the dagger.
It was Chase first, followed by Gunnar, followed by Chase again.
Well, the order doesn't matter. It's he picked it up. Therefore,
he was the first. That is correct. And also very important, the dagger is mine.
Yes, it is yours.
Until you die. Accidentally, of course.
Of course.
Well.
And we are all level 4.
Yes, we've just leveled up.
Yes, that is true.
Yes.
It has taken the party a whopping 10 episodes to level up, but that's how this game tends to go. It's slow progression, it's a slow burn, and lots of non-combat-y things tend to happen anyway. So.
Oh, we just forgot the most important bit. During the fight with the totally not the old woman, we met a wizard, a very muscly, burly, comically large wizard.
We did.
Yes, that is also true. All that being said, now that we've had a brief recap of the story, the previous session left off with me as DM having informed the party that there was going to be a minor time skip. Between then and now, you have all had plenty of opportunity to go around the small fishing village of Flotsam, go about any kind of purchases you wish to go through, finishing up all of your business within the village, and have since travelled back out over the marshes in order to reunite with the small kobold travelling party. All that being said, is there anything that any of you would like to input into the situation before we fully commit to abandoning this village?
I would like to check one thing, and that was that who is currently holding the holy hand grenade? Because I have it in my inventory. Does anybody else have it by accident as well in theirs?
The holy hand grenade? No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
I think I remember you
That's
specifically
probably
putting
for
it
the
in your
best.
inventory.
You wouldn't want a quantum holy hand grenade.
I don't know.
Quantum holy hand grenades are not things. And besides, this isn't actually an item called the holy hand grenade.
No, it's
It
called
is
the
in fact
Arcanus Fire.
called- Yes, the Arcanus Fire.
Yes,
Arcanus.
it's totally not a holy hand grenade or anything.
No, totally not. So, it doesn't sound like anybody has any objections to having the party continue on with their travels.
Yes. And while we're out on our travel, there is something me and CD have been scheming.
Okay. Well, before we get to that, as the party reunites with the kobolds, you see that they have all apparently set up some kind of rudimentary camp, reminiscent of the previous camp you set up back at the quote-unquote evil cottage. And that upon arriving, the variety of small lizard folk all look over to you and give you enthusiastic waves and greet you. One of the kobolds runs over to you, Groose, and asks for some booze. And overall, you are welcomed back into the traveling group with a great degree of gusto, enthusiasm, and overall happy to see that you've survived. That being said, there are experimentations that need to take place. Would you be going through with this little experiment of yours whilst you're still at the camp, or would you be packing up and getting on the road before going through with all of this?
I think we should be going on. We don't
As
have anyone
you're
to-
asking that as a group, or are you asking that to them too?
Well,
I'm asking this specifically to Marsh and Chase.
well, Chase, you have your new form. So how about we test out your new form with this experiment? I mean, as in, basically, as we're just hanging around camp.
All right, fuck it. You see, all right. So you bring the subject up with CD. CD tells you, "Sure, let's do it." And he transforms into a giant spider. Finally.
Okay.
Yes, truly a majestic form.
You all see as the great druid CD transforms into a large and imposing looking mechanical spider, which I'm sure Theo will be about to post an image into the Discord chat so that Trig may relay it to those watching the stream.
Yeah, I'll post it again.
Yes, and as he does so, I will expose the core of the machine.
Okay. You all would see as as Gunnar dons a pair of what appear to be oven mitts before walking over to the large mechanical automaton that has forever been present and not really doing a whole lot, merely acting as eternal vigil over the party's activities. Marsh, would you like to describe what happens as you remove the core? Or would you rather me do it?
I think your vocabulary is more verbose than mine.
All right then. So, as Gunnar opens up a panel on the back of the robot, you see is a dull orange light begins to spill out of the back alongside what appears to be a degree of maybe steam or some particularly grayed smoke. And in the process, you see as the dwarf reaches in and pulls and begins to disconnect various bits and pieces of the robot from something on the interior before suddenly you see the entire mechanical creature suddenly go limp, falling to its knees and then collapsing to the ground face first, revealing, standing there in what I can only imagine to be a degree of, oh shit, I probably should have put it on the floor first, Gunnar the dwarf, standing with what appears to be an approximately melon-sized chunk of roughly hewn, glowing orange stone, still emitting a noteworthy amount of light as if itself were a stone with an actual flame lit inside of it.
CD, seeing all of this, thinks to himself as well, oh shit, I should probably not do this. But regardless, he doesn't back down. He opens up a side panel, sort of, kind of, on the side of his chest for
In the side of your chest?
of the spider's chest. Or
Convenient that your form has that.
It's more like the panels shift and open instead of actually spider, and you just see basically inside of it is also garbage.
So, as you see the large mechanical spider-like form consisting of a variety of metal, wooden, and other considerably artificial implementations begin to open up its own interior, you were able to see as you look into this what you can only imagine to be gaping wound equivalent on this creature, that the interior is filled with wearing gears, cogs, and other mechanical machinery, effectively bringing you to the conclusion that via some unknown means, CD has apparently developed the ability to transform into imitating lifelike automatons instead of the standard druidic ability of being able to transform into naturally occurring creatures. That being said, you're standing there with the glowing red orb in your hands, Marsh, and you see before you a lump of a series of internal workings. Are you going to go through with the experiment?
Yes, I will look up at him once more and to make sure that he is indeed willing, and then I will place the core inside his wound.
Just to be clear, by the way, this is not anything that is being concealed from the rest of the party. So unless otherwise stated, the rest of you can assume that this is happening within sight of your characters, and if you wish to have any kind of input, whether it be physical or verbal, feel free to do so.
All right, I'm definitely interested in what they're doing right now, and I'm definitely walking towards him and asking, "Hey, what are you guys doing?"
Just an experiment.
Since when
I'm
can you
wondering.
transfer into a spider?
What happens when he transfers back? I mean, are you gonna? What is he gonna have the core stuck in his chest still?
Well, I hope not. I
or
mean, I
is it
kind
just
of
gonna-
need the thing.
Or is it just going to drop out on the floor when he, changes back? Or
Well, I suppose that's the point of this experiment, isn't it?
Also, is there any chance this might kill him?
No, I mean, who knows? I don't think so.
Let's continue. Just continue. Let's see what
Okay,
happens.
I'm going to find myself a nice place to sit and have a drink and see if there's any sort of popcorn or snacks.
So, Chris, do you got an extra mug?
Yeah, sure. Here you go. Have a drink.
So, with all of the necessary preparations having been made, CD, you are standing there in your new large mechanical spider form. The very abdomen that makes up the core of this form itself being not only larger but also heavier than even the finest plate mail of any paladin you have ever borne witness to. The length and span of your legs are far greater than that of any steed, and as a result, when you see the glowing red orb brought up against your side, the only thing that you can think is, well, it's only small, how bad can it be?
Oh god.
Suddenly, you are overcome with the feeling of an intense burning sensation as Marsh places the orb of glowing red stone seemingly into the open cavity of your mechanical creature form. First, I'm going to roll some fire damage.
Is it a tight fit as he gets his glowing orb and pushes it into his cavity? I mean,
No. It's not a tight fit at all. In fact, one could even go so far as to say that it is quite a gaping hole.
Oh
CD
no! Someone's
CD
been in there
more.
before.
It's quite cavernous in
Stop.
here.
Something's been in there.
Shut up.
So, I'm going to roll some dice now. This is the amount of fire damage you take in your spider form. Apparently, roll 20 is taking its time with the dice.
I see no rolls yet.
Yeah, neither do I. I've input the command, but it's taking its time.
Yeah, last time when you were piloting
no.
my character, it took a while for it to load as well. Oh, there is something. Oh,
That's
no,
Kiki.
That's Kiki just doing a test roll, I presume.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Ginge rolled 50 D100s.
No, I rolled 66.
What?
Ah, there we go.
That's mine.
Wow.
That's mine, not you.
Ah,
6d6.
fuck it. Let's go with the roll that Kiki's got there. So,
Oh wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Wow. Twice the
So-
same way. Alright.
CD, you are suddenly racked with the unmistakable feeling of an intense burning sensation that initially begins within the center of your spider's abdomen form and then begins to rapidly spread throughout the rest of your body. Please roll for me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh my god.
actually-
Is he now
Actually,
subservient to Marsh?
Wisdom is not the correct roll. A charisma saving throw.
Oh,
That's far more fitting, I would say.
Oh shit.
Classic chase roll.
I was just trolling 19s and 80s before this session. What the fuck happened? Fuck you.
So just to
Fuck you, you
clarify, we're watching a dwarf shoving his arm up to his elbow inside a spider, and the spider is not totally enjoying himself.
No. It's far more interesting than that. Tell me, which of you would have been standing there with a close-up view of this, and which of you would have been taking a step back and watching for potential fireworks?
Oh, I think we're just having a nice drink from a bit of distance, right,
Oh,
Craig?
Yeah,
we were
definitely.
just sat at a place where we can take in the whole visage and having a drink and a bit of a
I would
giggle as
be-
to
Can I just
what's
say that-
happening.
Can I just say that they hear a mechanical screeching that scares all the birds off of the trees as soon as the orc
Definitely.
starts touching
Oh,
it?
that is
What
is
kings?
easy enough to say. That the rest of the party would be able to hear as this melding of materials takes place, that a series of noises that could best be described as what you would expect an impending detonation to sound like if you were stood within some kind of metallic sea vessel.
Okay.
Sounds
Alright,
of
well,
creaking
I'm gonna-
metal and snapping of wood is very distinct and easy to hear, even from a considerable distance.
Can I
I'm
chip
gonna-
in? Can I chip in and shout? Shouldn't you two be doing that in private?
I'm gonna.
You just hear the spider screech back.
I'm just gonna reach it. I'm just gonna abort this. I'm gonna abort this. I'm gonna take the orb back out.
You sure? I
Okay.
should have hit points.
Well. CD has failed his charisma saving throw.
Oh no!
And as such, after an initial burst of mechanical screeches and grindings of gears, you suddenly hear the noise begin to die down. The mechanical screeching comes to an abrupt halt, and suddenly you see all of the metal aspects of the spider begin to glow as if just barely at the point of where you would expect iron to become workable in a forge, glowing a dull reddish colour. All of the wood across the barrel spider form begins to slowly turn into a dark charcoal black, and the once glowing red eyes that makes up CD's form instead ignite into a pair of flaming orbs, the likes of which look vaguely similar to what you would expect a magical mote of flame, perhaps from the bonfire cantrip, or maybe a firebolt. And in the process of this taking place, you see as the mechanical spider form turns and looks at you, Gunnar, staring directly into your soul, but seemingly taking no other action, as what you can only assume, well, roll for me a skill check of your choice. Anybody who is interested in doing so. That includes CD.
A skill check
God.
of your choice.
Yes.
What are we rolling for?
To try and interpret what you've just witnessed.
Oh.
Skill check of my choice, eh?
Again
Dab.
with the fucking bad rolls. Jesus Christ.
That was a wisdom roll, not a skill check.
Skill check. Okay, never mind. Let me just.
Lower.
All of my skills are fucking bad. Jesus.
Intimidation.
Oh my
It's like
Christ.
God doesn't want you to have fun.
Oh,
Well,
medicine's
I
good.
don't know. This is quite a lot of fun. Maybe Allah doesn't want you, but man, oh boy.
He has been claimed by the
Well.
Jinn.
I think
What I'm about to describe is what is relevant for most of the party. However, Chase, I will be summoning you into a private call to describe what CD experiences during this.
Oh god.
So,
Poor guy.
Not safe
as
for work.
the rest of the party witness this melding of stone and metal, and see as the great metallic spider turns around, almost like a tumorous growth, the solid ball of glowing steel has seemingly sunk into the metal workings of the mechanical spider, having created what can best be described as a crater-like indentation to be nestled within. The lot of you each come to your own conclusions on things, apart from Kiki, who apparently Grace just gets very angry at all of this. And the best conclusion that you're all able to come to is that apparently some kind of melding of two distinctly magical and yet simultaneously unnatural forces has just taken place.
It definitely
Bruce?
looks fairly unnatural, yes.
Yes.
Bruce, with your medicine check, you would be able to tell from the various responses that the mechanical spider made that this was not a pleasant experience. And Gregory, you would be able to quite easily tell that this is almost certainly an experiment, the first of its kind. Now, with that all said,
what about with my Arcana check?
What I've just described is
Okay.
the information that you've heard.
I will point out that I still want to try to remove the orb. Remove the core.
Well, we'll get to that after I pop into a different room and drag Chase with me. I'm just going to go ahead and hijack Wes's voice room, since I doubt anybody's using it for the time being.
Poor Wes, I miss him.
No, mate.
He'll be back. Probably.
He'll be back,
hopefully.
but as Wendy.
So are you two a couple now?
I think he and my robot are a couple now.
They do seem somewhat inseparable at the moment.
He's
Pretty gay.
robosexual.
I mean that looked unpleasant. I'm just gonna in my head that was not natural.
I just look at you, Bruce, and then I look back at the happening, and I take a big swig.
Yeah, same. In fact, I'm just gonna knock a couple of pints off my my tally on the thing, because this is gonna require a couple of damn good slugs of booze.
Mostly because this is hilarious.
This is kind of hilarious, yes. But just wait, this is only one experiment of many I have planned.
Oh damn! Poor C.
Do you plan to do all of them in public?
No. But the auto still is definitely going to be something that's public.
Oh no, Jesus Christ! Why does this?
What? It's the auto still with the flamethrower. What can go wrong?
You're not listening. You're not watching. There we have.
What? What have I missed?
Nothing.
Good. Is that supposed to be Chase now?
And depending on how far you're from him, maybe you as well. We'll see.
Well, I am standing right next to him, so hopefully
maybe we need to tell that to Ginger that you're standing next to him.
Well, I'm attempting to remove the core from him, so it's inferred.
So, Gunnar, gleaming-eyed, spider-like form staring at you, and you say you elect to remove the core.
Yes, I would imagine that this experiment has certainly had interesting consequences, and I shall ask Chase about them.
Okay. Well, as you walk over to the side of the spider form, you see as its head pivots on its mechanical joints in order to track you as you do so, but offers up no resistance as you attempt to remove the core from the side of the mechanical spider. And with a similar amount of effort that it would take to remove it from the back of its usual home, you're able to effectively pry it forth from the mechanical spider. Chase, in this moment, with a sudden burst of what can best be described as an intense stabbing sensation that, rather than simply feeling like you're having your flesh rendered, instead feels like the very essence of your being is being incinerated and reborn all at once, as you suddenly find your consciousness once again thrust forth into the form of a giant mechanical spider.
CD just again the loud screechings of the mechanical spider return, but this time with vengeance. It's twice as loud, to the point that even further beyond, like something is wrong, you can feel it. As soon as the orb is outside and he doesn't feel it, the giant mechanical spider puts all of its 8 legs on the ground and jumps backward. And then,
By the way, Chase,
Mm.
you will note that now that you have returned to your giant spider form, that your entire body feels like it could light fire just by simply touching the appropriate kindling. The entirety of the wooden sections of your spider form feel as though they have been charred, and yet at the same time, none of this feels uncomfortable. It feels different, it feels strange, but not painful.
all right, if it's not painful, at the moment, after what happened and what you told me, CD doesn't take note of that. He probably needs a moment to compose himself before taking note of that. But right now, his mind is on flight or flight. He just jumps back. You can almost see fear in his eyes as he's looking at the orb, not the gunner, not anything else, but just the orb.
If I may
All right.
interject,
Go ahead.
since it looked like he'd caught fire, what's the likelihood Gao would have been able to find, let's say, a cauldron full of water to pour over the burning spider?
Very unlikely. There was no such thing available in the immediate vicinity. Without without producing some kind of magical water effect, this is the best you could possibly do is maybe unzip your pants and piss on him.
I think they're
Oh,
probably
no.
not very effective.
Probably not.
I wonder if I cast heroism on him, would that calm him down?
You can certainly try.
Potentially.
Could I? Oh wait, no, his whole thing is on fire. I don't think prestidigitation covers that much.
At this point, by the way, it looks less like the spider is on fire and more like that it has rapidly transitioned from being untouched by fire to being entirely burned. Like, there has been a fire, but it burned out some considerable time ago to its fullest extent, leaving ashen remains and charred metal.
Okay, I'll cast intimidation for him. I mean,
Heroism.
Well, a key noteworthy feature here. Two, in fact. First of all, range of touch. Secondly, a willing creature.
Well, willing creature.
If he put the orb back, I would be willing. Like, I would still consider him a friend. It's just out of fear of the orb. I'm not afraid of him.
Speaking
Right.
of,
Gunnar know that.
Gunnar, Gunnar, what have you done with the orb that now, having seen your mechanical spider friend jump away in apparent fear, what you still have the orb in your oven mitted hands?
Yes.
Put it back in. Put it back in.
Well,
CD
I
can
ima-
still understand you. You know that.
I imagined he wouldn't be happy with me approaching him with the orb. So I think I'll plop it back into the machine and then try and cast heroism on him.
All right.
I'll just
Well,
run
CD,
over.
you see as Gunnar has returned the flaming orb back to its previous house of the previous housing of its mechanical robot form, and you see an apparently disarmed Gunnar making his way towards you. How do you respond?
I'm not even looking at Gunnar right now. I'm just looking at the robot as it turns back onto life. Just afraid of what's in it. Just looking in fear. It's very absurd how the spider looks. Looking like he just emerged out of a burned house. And still so afraid of such a little thing.
Well-
I'm gonna write this down in my thing.
If there is no resistance and CD is in fact considered a willing creature, then CD, you would suddenly find as Gunnar walks over to you and applies a spell to your form, that you would find yourself being given a sudden burst of confidence with the previous fear and dread of having to encounter that same experience again. Still able to be remembered, but no longer being anywhere near as great a concern as what it once was.
See, the spider, as he touches the spider, he can almost feel as if with the feeling of confidence coming in, he can almost feel the spider pushing back at his hand. It's almost needing that confidence on a psychological level. And as he fully ends the casting of heroism, the spider is standing up, still looking back at that, but is more conscious of his surrounding. Like, he can look at Gunnar, but every once in a while he just steals a glance at the mechanical thing. That's how terrifying it was.
Mm-hmm.
Do bear in mind, CD, at any point you can end the transformation.
Yes. Since I don't imagine you can speak much with in a spider form.
Nope. No. Chase, are you okay?
Hello, Chase.
God.
Somebody is paying him some attention, it seems.
Oh,
So, what would the rest of the party have done during this noteworthy spectacle of experimentation?
I've just typed into chat what Bruce would say, which is, crikey, last time I saw that expression was on the face of the youngest monk in the monastery after a private session with the chief abbot.
Oh no.
Very nice.
Truly awful.
I'm scribbling that stuff in my notebook. This is very interesting. This is definitely something worth helping Gunnar out. It looks like.
Okay, done.
Once Spider started to glow with like melted iron, Garrow basically left the area looking for something to carry water and maybe a river or stream, and is still looking for such things.
And now that Chase is back,
You almost require CD sorry. CD waits until someone reminds him, asks him a question. How was it? Can you turn back? Until he remembers that yes, and as a matter of fact, he can turn back into a human.
Hey, you all right there, Spider-Man?
And then suddenly the mechanical equipment and the limbs retreat back into the torso, almost transforming him back into a human. How would I look now? Would I look like charred or something?
You would all see as CD reverts back to his humanoid form that a few of the aspects of the charred mechanical spider form end up apparently being retained, with the fingernails on CD's hands appearing to be a dull glowing red that rapidly harden and turn into what apparently look just like black fingernails. CD, you on the other hand, would be noteworthy in that you would be able to quite clearly tell that this is apparently some form of metallic iron.
Oh, so the transformation into Tiefling Trap has begun.
What is the core exactly?
Well, it's a firestone
Just
that has gained sentience.
that's why. Oh, good fucking gods.
I mean,
The
it certainly
thi-
seems like it has sentience, doesn't it?
the thing tried to I don't know how to describe it.
Eat you, I suppose.
I guess the word is unperson, maybe? Something like that. It tried to remove me. I felt just darkness and fire in there.
Strange. That's exactly what the youngest monk in the monastery said after the private session with the abbot.
By the way, during this time, you would all see as the usual automaton has once again managed to lift itself back onto its feet and is simply standing by with what can best be described as an entirely unawares look at its face. Although, given that its face is effectively just an expressionless helmet, it's difficult to discern any kind of emotion.
Yes, I kind of didn't really design any facial articulation on it yet.
I think, Christ, if we're going to ever, and I mean, we're not going to do this for a long time, but if somehow you got me to ever try that again, I need to prepare for that.
Yes,
You need to use protection next time.
CD is not even addressing anyone in here. He doesn't even hear you. He just hears Gunnar and looking at the mech. Good God Almighty! This thing is. Where did you? No, I don't want to know.
I made it.
You made it? How?
Not sure exactly, but it happened to happen, and I rolled with it.
Yeah, that you did.
So tell me, what exactly you say it essentially what, try to take you over, erase you, take over your body, kind of?
No, it didn't just try to take over my body. It did take over my body. At one moment
yes, but
there, I wasn't. No, it didn't take it permanently.
No, but it wanted to.
Yes. Matter
Ah,
of fact, I think if you didn't take that core out, I would have never gone back. So thank you for that, I guess. But that thing is powerful.
oh,
It could be very, very dangerous.
well, I suppose it's good that I brought it out of Varpak then.
Yeah, it's a good thing, eh?
So, how much for you to put that thing back in there?
The knife.
Ah, yes. It is made of a special material and enchanted quite interestingly. Perhaps I could
Don't
fuse the
even
blade.
think about it.
See,
Fuse the
we
blade.
both don't want something.
Give it
to
a
be-
+5. Give it a massive boost to its attacking potential.
You're not gonna come that near this knife. I'm telling you that.
Anyway, I stuck up with my side of the deal. It's time you stuck up with yours.
Oh, of course. Teaching someone to read surely can't be that hard.
You're asking the dwarf to teach you to read.
What,
Hey,
need
I
to
speak 3 languages. I'm a scholar, don't you know?
Uh-huh.
Give me some of more of that booze. I can't handle this.
So what? You can do better then?
Better than
Hey,
a dwarf?
I
Oh,
don't see you
definitely.
making sentient firestone automatons. Bitch.
I don't know. I just usually try not to turn everything into a blazing hellfire. That's a bit conspicuous.
That's just a positive bonus. You don't know what you're talking about.
By the way, during this time, you see that all of the kobolds have apparently gathered around and are seemingly discussing things with each other in hushed tones.
Sorry, could you repeat that?
The kobolds that you reunited with just prior to doing this little experiment have apparently all gathered around one another in a little bit of distance away from the rest of your party and just discussing things in hushed tones with one another. If you speak Draconic, you may have a chance to listen in, but otherwise, you have no
I
idea
do.
what they're saying.
I do speak Draconic.
In that case, roll me a perception check.
Oh, that's beautiful, Theo.
Nice.
Unfortunately, you are not entirely sure what they are talking about.
Oh, I also want to do that then. Hold up.
You also speak Draconic.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I believe I
convenient.
do. Yes, Common Dwarven Draconic.
You also do not know what they may be speaking of. That's depressing.
At
Tis
least
sad.
I had a
Wait for
nice number. Or at least my number combination was nice.
Hmm.
I mean, technically, his is double nice. No, never mind.
Can I just infer using wit? Wit, what's it called? Insight, if they're talking about me or something else?
Oh,
If
a
you
giant
want.
flaming spider just came out of nowhere and then disappeared. You think they're not talking about you?
Maybe they're talking about the automaton as well.
Oh, maybe they're just talking about the weather, how nice it is, and all.
You get the impression that they are almost certainly talking about a certain series of events that may have just taken place.
All right. You have something to add over there?
You see as the The whispered, hushed speaking comes to an abrupt halt as one of them just looks over at you and just calls out, "Are you okay?"
I'm fine now.
Are you sure? Because you don't sound it.
I'm.
I think our friend there needs more of the stupid juice.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He'll just be walking funny for a day. It's okay.
Stop it with the Stop it with the bloody
No,
jokes.
no, absolutely not. Never.
No.
Just give me that fucking flask.
Sure, it's for drinking though, but not pouring over things.
Alright, CD just.
It's flammable,
Throws-
remember?
Does anybody remark on my nails being made out of iron?
So, should we do a perception check or something? I'll do one.
I would say anybody who is paying any reasonable degree of attention would notice.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna ask: Did you paint your nails last night or something? What happened?
Oh, this. He just moves over to a tree and then scratches it with his nails, leaving out marks with the apparently leaving out marks, 4 marks out of the side in the shape of his nails going down on the tree. Some parts of me don't form back fully. For example, this right now is literal iron. Sometimes it's a finger made out of out of an iron band. It's part of the reason why I am running around. I want to figure out what the fuck
sort
is
of
happening.
scratch the back of my head. Does this happen often when you transform? I don't think I noticed something like this before.
It doesn't happen all the time, but it's becoming more and more common. Last time I transformed, I think my finger was an iron band. Or my fingers. I don't know. Unless someone points it out, usually I don't even notice.
Huh.
That's definitely interesting.
So even the
is.
heat transferred over. Interesting.
Yeah, I did feel that, however.
I imagine it's akin to eating a large curry.
It wasn't, actually. And that's not because I've never eaten curry. Well, it was almost natural. It felt like I was a burning being.
It was a fiery but mostly peaceful orb.
Well, I mean, look at it. It's not, doing anything right now, is it?
It's not, but
As
Oh, Christ. That is-
you guys suck. Why did I choose to travel with you? Does everybody with a G in the beginning of their names suck this much?
As far as I know, yeah.
We are the G's. The OGs.
Look, if
I
you're
like
gonna do
this
something this
popcorn.
weird in public, people are gonna mock you. I'm just saying it.
You've only tasted the first ball from the G-string.
Oh
Stop it, please.
no! Anything else that you two lovebirds plan on doing today, or?
I think
just-
that'll be it for today.
I'm just
How come you
looking at.
even how come you even thought of doing this?
He saw my mechanical form, and he did describe that his orb wasn't. What's the word? It wasn't evolving fast enough. It wasn't gaining sentience fast enough. So, he wanted to give it a push towards transformation.
Oh, and I point to Gunnar. So that thing actually learns?
I'll be back in a minute.
It is capable of some intelligence. However,
It's taking too long.
Yes,
So-
but what about the orb?
You fucking Stevie just goes over to Tui and he picks him up and he starts petting him.
This is the Chase bullying episode.
You mean the CD bullying? Fuck you.
Sorry, Chase.
sorry, the CD bullying, of course.
Yeah, the CD bullying.
Right, I have combined them all together into an ultimate creation.
Oh no! What have
Oh
you-
no. Oh no. This is haram.
It's
It's on the
this is-
stream now.
Oh,
That's Gunner's bad touch number 4.
Uh-huh.
It's an artistic evolution, clearly.
Yes.
yes, I agree.
But
However-
what did they do to your art?
It is less that the core is evolving, and more just I want to see what else it can do.
Well, it can take over anything mechanical. I can give you that.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have sentience and it took over. Granted,
Oh.
I don't think I was prepared.
Wait a second. You're telling me that so as soon as you put that orb in, your machine took over?
As soon as I put that, when he put the orb in at first, it just felt burning. But then, slowly, I felt darkness. Like a void. The sky, but without the stars.
It
and I
basically
felt heat.
knocked him out, and sort of.
No, it didn't knock me out. Knocking me out would mean that I don't feel anything, that I'm not conscious of it.
I
This
hold my
didn't.
chin with my hand and like looking at him like. So, did you feel anything then? Did was it like you?
Silence. I felt silence and fire. That's it.
I think you had it in you for like half a minute or a minute or something.
Yes, but it felt like
feel like you. Does it feel like you couldn't do anything for about that time?
it's less about feeling and more of knowing. I just knew that I couldn't do anything at that time. I couldn't move. I could simply just think, nothing else.
How do you feel now? I mean, empty inside, weak-kneed, like curling up in a ball and crying?
Right now, I'm feeling normal, if a bit burnt out.
Huh.
But good God, that felt weird. Bad.
That's definitely an interesting experiment that you're trying to do.
Yeah.
Apart from maybe
Oh no!
maybe fighting over who can teach that thing over there faster to write and read. If you don't mind, I'm interested in helping,
With
The
experiments, I mean,
or at
like,
least assisting you. This is definitely very interesting.
That's the first thing you've ever offered something nice.
do you happen to have any metal prosthetics on you?
I don't.
Forget it; it's just a joke anyway.
I don't plan on letting that thing anywhere near me. I'm just offering my assistance.
Well, if I think of an experiment you could take part in, I shall inform you.
Besides, I'm the only one that managed to beat him into submission last time, so
I swear, if only you were wearing metal. If only you were wearing metal. You just hear him whisper to himself.
Well, in any
I
case,
reckon.
perhaps we should get going now. heading
Yeah.
over to
I
Scrap.
reckon I could probably beat him into submission in such a way that he wouldn't get back up again.
All right. Okay, Goblin just simply looks at you, goes back 30 feet away.
No, hold on. Let's not do this
No,
again.
let's not do this. Let's not do this. He walks 60 feet away.
Let's not do this.
That's still in javelin range.
Yeah, but you have disadvantage.
And a +10.
Look,
still have to-
we don't need to do any of this. This is not the time. We've got hordes of goblins and a weapon wight. Let's not forget, we still have that weapon wight after us.
I'm just gonna go hunt something. Maybe I'll try hunt something bigger, a deer or some shit.
Well, good luck with that.
Aren't we supposed to be fucking off and finding Scrack?
Oh,
Yeah, I
yes,
don't
yes.
think,
You can't go hunting
yeah,
yet. We're on the road
yeah,
now.
for messing around more than you guys already did. Oh, it was really fun seeing all that happening, but I think we
All
should.
right. We need to move. Wait, Bruce, do you still have those laxative leaves or berries?
You know, I don't have the laxative leaves or berries anymore. However, I do have a shot of laxative liquor, if you'd like to try that.
No, I was thinking about making a poison out of that stuff.
I basically already done that for you. It's a shot of
No.
alcohol that will make you shit for a week.
No, I'm more like you stab someone into that stuff.
I could probably coat it on a sword, but I don't know if that would be exactly what you're looking for.
Well, direct blood infusion probably
It's-
would be
it's-
effective.
More likely, just wait for them to fall asleep and pour it down the gob, or something, or drinking game kind of sort of environment might be
Yeah.
interesting.
I don't think Scrack would want to have a drinking game with the goblins. He's more interested in stabbing them.
We can always find more herbs on the way. We are in a forest or
Yes,
a woodland, and we are
let's-
traveling. Let's
let's
travel.
go. I'd rather walk.
Let's travel and keep an eye out for interesting herbs and berries.
I don't
Rather
suppose
walk
we could
south.
figure out a way to aerosolize it, perhaps make a gas out of it or something.
I mean,
It's
I
a
can use it with
laxative. It's a laxative.
use it-
Laxative usually involves in hitting your stomach lining and then your bowel lining, and then turning that into a cement mixer.
If
Well,
I
they should
make
have a water source or something nearby them.
Oh, interesting.
If I make it a poison, I can usually use it with my mechanical forms. Like my claws and teeth would have the poison coated with them.
Could I not just cast command on someone and tell them to violently defecate?
You know what you could do is cast command on them and demand that they drink some of these shots of booze that I've got that will do it.
Isn't command a one-word action?
Yes, drink.
So it would be
Drink.
drink or
Yes.
shit.
See, getting someone to defecate on command tricky. Getting someone to drink something on command when you hand them something
Yeah,
probably a
but,
lot easier. The shitting will
as
come
long as
later.
It
As long
could
as they
also
don't
be
know what
something
the-
interesting, like auto-defenestrate.
No, actually, as long as the action isn't harmful to them, they will do it. Command doesn't work that way.
As long as they don't know it will be harmful to them.
Yes, so the potion would be viable. The shit profusely would not.
Yeah.
And auto defense trait also would not. Despite not knowing how
Anyway.
to read and write, I know a lot. I
Yeah.
know of the language, you know?
Besides,
While you guys have been doing all that, you may notice in the background in the camp, Garrow's just like turning everything upside down.
What? Why?
why?
He's looking for water to pour on the burning spider.
There is no burning spider anymore. Calm down.
He wasn't there to see it not be burning anymore.
Garo, it's all right now. I'm not a burning spider.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. So that saves me a effort. Can you believe that this camp has no water in it?
I mean, did you bring any water with you?
I'm going to walk up and go, yep, it surprises me too. Here, do you want a drink of this?
What's this?
This is, it's just, wine from my hip flask. Give it a shot.
I'll happily have a drink with you now that no one's in danger.
No one's in danger. Drink, sir.
Take
Drink, sir.
A hearty sip from your hip flask.
As hearty as you like.
I'm not actually sure what I need to roll for this, but I'm expecting it's going to be diabolical.
How many pints of wine do you want to drink?
Well, we're not in a hurry to get anywhere. We're in Scrack's camp, aren't we?
We're in the
No.
camp of the kobolds. We're looking for Scrack. Or on the way to find Scrack.
Roll Constitution.
I think it'll be quite a hearty swig this time.
Take a hearty swig.
Finish it all. Why don't you?
No, that would be terribly well. I'll tell you what, good fellow. Given your rough experience, you could probably use a drink. I'll share it with you.
Yeah, pass it.
Chase?
Would you like a swig from the flask?
Split the drink with him.
Yeah.
Fine, give me that. He just grabs it and chugs again.
Okay.
Just a quick swig. He doesn't chug it. He knows your tricks.
What tricks? I'm not doing anything.
No, Groose's tricks.
I'm just gonna be sat there or stood there, sort of smiling to myself. Take as much as you like,
Yeah.
Oh.
I take another hearty swig and pass it back to Chase.
I'm just gonna walk over to the kobolds. This is gonna take a while.
I've drunk my fair share. Thank you. Let's just get the hell out of here.
Oh, really? God, wouldn't it be rude to our good host here, the young monk, if we do not, take the bounty he has given us?
Garrow,
That flask can hold enough to get all of us drunk. No,
Yes.
thank you very much. I'd rather
Garrett-
move.
Sounds wonderful.
my good friend, there is at least 20 pints of wine in that flask.
Ah, well, then we may need some chairs.
Or some bedrolls.
Let's go. Scrack isn't gonna wait for us forever. He has
But-
goblins to stay, and he might help us with the wight.
Oh, well, fair enough. If this Clack guy is as wizardly and learned as you say, I look forward to meeting the fellow.
Oh, he's highly wizardly and learned, yes.
If you're the standard, then yes.
Bit
He's
hissy and
very-
growly, but yes. He is equally as much a wizard as you are, Garrow, I'm sure.
Oh, do not do me such a justice. He is even as slightly as great as the stories you've told on this long journey from that village where we met. You humble me, good sir. This is rather hard to keep going when we don't have the DM to
It is a little bit,
push
isn't
us
it?
along.
Where'd Ginge go?
He could probably hear us. He just isn't on his screen right now.
you hear us?
He's probably got his earphones in the wrong ears again.
Oh no, maybe they're
The wrong
upside
ears
down
again.
again.
Yeah, he's got them in the
wrong.
cat ears that he wears on top instead.
Oh, he
Is
has
that a
double
thing?
ear.
That's what he means when he says he's got to swap ears.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, it's his cat ears that run out of battery.
That
Am
makes
I
so
going to
much
have to
more
shop
sense then.
cat ears onto the barrel spider now?
Oh no.
No, you don't have to. Thank you very much. The
Yeah,
spider does not require cat ears.
It has to be one of those headsets. With
Are
the
you
cat ears on
telling me
top.
that last rendition is perfect?
Right, I'm back.
Thank you.
But only because I heard you calling for me.
We've run out of
Welcome
things to
back.
talk about.
Yes, we were getting a little sort of
Bored.
Yeah,
You
we
were,
passed
Drinking
the
game in your
drink.
absence.
Yeah, we passed the drink around, and we're talking about Scrack, and generally sort of saying, shall we move on? And then everyone
Yeah.
just went silent.
I sort of went, I sort
Well,
of
I
headed
was
back
happy to
towards
continue
the
drinking, to
kobolds.
be
I
honest.
wanted to ask them, are you guys ready to pack up and start moving again?
Well, as you ask the kobolds, they just kind of all look to each other a little confused, but then the cook in the back, who you get the impression at this point is basically the backup leader for when Scrack isn't around, and just pipes up with a, yeah, we can get going whenever you want.
I also tell him you don't have to worry about CD. He does this from time to time.
No, don't
No.
worry. I got that you tall folks like to do weird stuff.
Yeah,
Weird stuff.
yeah.
Don't listen to the elf. He's trying to trick you.
Well, are you lot gonna be, I don't know, setting each other on fire while we're on the road, or is that just a one-off?
That's hopefully a one-off. Let's
I don't
just
plan on.
let's
Well,
just
that's up to
go.
him, really. So. In
Well,
any
all
case,
right then.
we should be setting off now.
Yes, let's go.
And you see as the kobolds all do the usual routine of what you can expect to be a very well-drilled sequence of events, whereby they all run off to their own different little activities, packing up bits and pieces before all getting ready and sorting things out before, generally speaking, the in a matter of minutes, the entire traveling party is once again ready to shove off. But all that being said, the reason why I was gone so long is because I got distracted with frying an egg. I need to go sort that out now, so I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I recommend that we take this as an official break time. I'll only be
Wait,
gone for a couple
I'm
of
gonna
minutes.
make myself some
wait,
tea.
wait, Ginge. Have you left an
Yes.
egg half fried?
No, it's just finishing off the frying process now, which is why I'm trying to get going.
Okay,
Just so you know,
go
Ginger,
and
gonna
finish
make
your
tea.
frying.
Bye.
Understandable.
So I'm gonna go silent now. I'll still be in the chat though.
You haven't
left an egg
half fried.
Well, I suppose while we wait, what was all that about?
Is it? I don't know. Weird public display of affection or something.
You mean the spider? Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was just an experiment I was having.
So I'm assuming you were trying to force learn stuff into your orb via sodomizing CD in some way.
Well, that's more like I just wanted to see what would happen.
Ah, yes. Young days when
Okay.
you're experimenting. I understand these
Yeah.
things.
I have a question about this whole episode.
Hey, I'm probably
Where
older than
does
you.
the rat go when you transform?
That's a good question, you know? I've often...
It lives in your clothes, and your clothes transform with you.
Oh no! Oh
Have
no!
you just fried your rat?
Oh no!
Yeah, presumably the rat goes the same place the orb does.
That would be even worse. The thing basically melted the metal on him, didn't it?
I have demanding cat.
I have
Issues.
procured egg.
Yum.
Awesome.
I don't know. I just always assumed that the
Congrats.
rat was inside him, crawling around somewhere.
And I can
Then it's
confirm
a
as to
fried
what
rat.
happens with the rat. Whenever CD goes through a transformation, the rat, much like you would expect from a fighter jet, is ejected out the back.
Ah, so that's what that compartment's for.
Yes.
Understandable.
Like a little ejector seat, it just goes bing and flies away.
I'm tempted to Photoshop the spider again, just have the rat poking out its butt.
Sorry, I've just, in my wandering downstairs, the cat just sort of wandered up to me and then just sort of fell over, rolled onto its side, and is now waving its belly at me.
Oh,
Ah,
that is
So there might be sort of
adorable.
cute purring sounds and stuff. Come here, you! Oh! Big heavy lump of a cat. He's been
Alright,
a right little
thanks for letting me
shits
know,
today.
Theo.
And no glass of water has been left unspilt by this cat today. Puck has been definitely puckish.
Ah, so Puck has been a fuck.
Ah, yes. Ooh. Yeah, who he is.
Right, that's quite an
Yes.
impressive level of meme.
Yes.
Oh my god. Thank you, Bright. Thank you.
Oh, that just happened.
So, how would each of your characters rate their first induction into the world of science?
Heresy.
I'm not quite sure that was science that I just experienced. Like I said, last time I
believe
saw
me.
something like that, it involved a choir boy.
Look, trust
and an
me,
old abbot.
as a scientist, you can trust me. That was science.
You see, science requires 2 steps: fucking around
And finding out.
and writing shit down.
No, there's hypothesis and then proving hypothesis through carefully designed experiment. That just seemed to be
No.
horrifying fucking around, yes.
Yeah, what
That was
was the null
carefully
hypothesis?
Well, the hypothesis was that the orb can fuse with metal and
What the fuck am I back to?
Okay,
and
I'm not
he is
exactly
made
like
out
a
of metal.
scientist or anything, but
Therefore,
wouldn't you want to try it on something inert before you potentially killed a party member?
oh yeah, I mean, it's walking around in something that was inert.
Mhm.
It wouldn't do anything new. It would just do what I already know what it does. But now I know.
It seemed a lot like heretical degeneracy.
You'd think that.
I can't help but think my takeaway from this is that we consider experiments on CD to be animal testing.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Fuck you.
I'll tell you one thing though, we need to get that animatronic walking casks going soon, so next time that happens we can put them out.
Yeah, with a jet of vodka.
Oh yes, I'm sure that'll help. By the way, that is what I've had planned for the results of that little experiment for 2 weeks now.
Oh, dang.
I assume it amounted to what you were hoping for.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much. Quite a beautiful experiment.
So, are we back now, or are we still on break?
We can be back now for all I care. I mean, I've got some samosas in the oven. They're about 5 minutes off being done. So.
I just
And
want
I've
to
just
ever
finished eating my egg and sausage.
guy.
Egg
Yeah.
sausage. Don't you have bacon?
No. Ran out of bacon this morning.
Fair enough. If you don't have bacon, then it's absolutely excusable to have sausage.
Hey, sausage is good in either way.
Yeah, I just wish I could, eat the shit you eat. Fucking hell, I'm jealous. I want to taste
Right.
bacon.
You
I
never
don't.
had a bacon?
I am in the Muzi country. Of course, I don't have bacon.
Well, I think we've recently learnt that CD is quite fond of sausage.
He is quite fond of hunting down animal and ripping their flesh off with his teeth after he cooks
No,
it.
no. Let's be completely honest with ourselves here. What we have learned from the previous activity is not that CD likes sausage. And that CD is open to experimentation, but has discovered that he is in fact terrified of balls.
Yes. Well, no, not terrified just particularly. He just seemed to completely lose himself in the moment.
Hmm.
And then didn't know how he felt about it afterwards.
I know how I felt about it. I can't describe it. Fuck you.
Yeah. I'm sure no one's ever heard that line before. All I'm going to say is that your epiphany was correct. Next time you should use protection.
This is what you get for doing weird things in public. That's all I'm saying.
I didn't do weird, but yeah, you're a dick.
That
you know
was
that.
pretty weird, you got to admit.
Whatever.
Look, all because it's new and unusual doesn't mean it's weird. Oh, wait,
Whatever.
That is exactly what
that is
definition
what
is.
weird means.
I was just going to say, is that not the definition of weird?
Okay, can I just roll a nature to see if I can find leaves and herbs to make my poison?
Sure, I would say that's reasonable, except it wouldn't be nature, it would be survival.
Well, can I just keep the roll anyway?
Sure. So roll survival, and we'll take a 17 and add your multiplier to it.
Should I roll? Okay, I roll survive.
Just click the survival button. Alright, so with a total of 23, I would say that along the travelling that the party goes through for the next couple of days, you were able to effectively wander around and gather up enough supplies to be able to, assuming you were able to get yourself to an appropriate location where you can set up the necessary equipment and the like, you'll be able to brew yourself, I would say, 2 doses worth of this poison. Bearing in mind that each dose, I believe, equates to a minute worth of additional power on your attacks. But yes, is there anything else? Is there anything that anybody else would like to do as they are traveling through the game?
A couple of days, yeah?
Mm-hmm. We are doing a minor time skip whereby we are combining several days worth of travel eastward, at the end of which something interesting is going to happen.
I'm going to dump some divine senses every now and then throughout the travel. Make sure this weapon wight isn't hot on our heels.
Well,
Yeah.
just remember that it only really comes out at night. So
Hang
Theo
on,
wants to test out the knife, actually.
are we travelling east, did you say?
You are currently traveling westward.
Okay, good. I was going to say. We're back at the inn from session 1.
Oh, wouldn't that be
That'd be
hilarious?
fine by me. Gary's never been there.
How close to this nose are we?
So, Theo, just go ahead and describe to me what Gregory would do with the knife in order to, quote unquote, test it. And in the meantime, if there's anything else anybody would like to do let me know. Kiki, you said that you wanted to do something, or were you just asking, like, which direction.
Oh, I was just gonna keep some regular what's it called? Divine senses going to make sure that this thing wasn't hot on our heels.
Right, okay. Well, as a matter of fact, you would, on whenever you would cast the Divine Sense during the day, not pick up anything noteworthy. However, whenever you cast it during the night, you would be able to pick up on a general sense of malaise which seems to permeate around your party. There doesn't seem to be any definitive source of it, but to say the least, it does seem as though you are being followed, and that it is at its strongest during the night.
I don't just sense that as a general level of degeneracy coming from the tent of Chase and Marsh.
No. This is a general feeling that permeates the entire party, including yourself. I would like to try out cutting different materials, stone, iron, and also if I could somewhat in private do a religious ritual beforehand to see. Okay, right. Well, in that case, Gregory, I'm going to say roll me a check of your choice to determine your ability to discover new aspects of the item.
Oh my god, it's of your choice. Do intimidation.
Persuasion.
Do bear in mind, as what should be a needless comment, your choice of skill and the result is a very heavy determining factor in how successful this experimentation will be. I will go ahead and roll a skill. So go ahead and just name one, and I'll press the button for you. And to make things easier for you, I'm going to take a quick screen grab now. These are your skills.
I'll do history.
Oh, it's up to Theo.
I mean, if he does history, there's a very good chance he'll learn that it cuts through trees quite effectively.
Okay, so let's roll a history check for Gregory.
Oh my god.
That is highly
Oh,
unfortunate.
fucking God.
Snake eye.
It's okay.
Looks
I
like
will.
I'm not the only
I'm
one
not-
who sucks.
It's okay, Ginge. I'm not doing anything at the moment, so I will assist him to give him advantage.
Ah, yes. It's a good job that you did, because this is the result, Theo. So, given that you roll a double natural 1, I'm going to go ahead and describe to you the series of events that you go through in terms of trying to figure out some of the properties of this mystical
Have we just
dagger
forgotten
which
where
you've
we
come
put the
across.
knife?
So, Theo. As Gregory settles down for the evening, he sets up a small tent that he carries with him at times so that he can have a degree of privacy away from the prying eyes of the filthy sub-racers. And in doing so, he pulls out the enchanted dagger and begins to look over it and thinks to himself, I wonder just how sharp this really is. And so you take out a gold piece and you just simply try to balance it on the edge of the knife, held upright against the force of gravity, and in doing so, gain 2 halves of a single gold piece, thus making it an invalid form of currency, and as such, losing a gold piece that I will go ahead and deduct from your total now. And I will add in to your inventory 2 halves of a gold piece.
Oh no, Theo's nose is shrinking.
I have a samosa, and there is a cat sat bolt upright on the sofa right next to me, just staring me down for it.
You're saying that
Don't let him. He is a samosa thief. Do not give in to his wiles.
I have a cat sitting directly on me. Can you fucking...
But Puck is so cute. How could you possibly resist that face?
Oh,
Just look at it. He's smiling.
Does Theo have anything harder?
Well,
With
Theo,
more
as
resistance?
as the gold coin was lightly dropped onto the blade of the knife, you notice that the knife's edge was actually able to get about 3/4 of the way through the thickness of the coin itself, which, bear in mind, they are somewhat chunky pieces of gold, these things. It's interesting how, in order to maintain the individual value of each gold piece, the gold pieces in recent years have had to have been made thicker and thicker due to the overwhelming wealth of gold being harvested by the industrious dwarves to the east. But in either case, this almost, I would say, somewhere in the realms of 6 to 7 millimeter thick gold pieces, able to be cut almost entirely the way through its width before being stopped by its own resistance. All in all, by the time the coin is stopped in its self-bisecting tract, it's effectively in 2 pieces by this point. But aside from potentially sacrificing one of your more mundane items, perhaps the head of an arrow or the hardened edge of one of your conventional daggers, there isn't really much else that you have at your disposal, not without going to one of your party members and seeing if they have anything to offer. All
You
right.
know what? I shall hand him some portobello mushrooms if he wants to do some chopping.
Well, Gregory, you are offered some portobello mushrooms to dice away with the absurdly sharp dagger. I figured that might be the result. You are roundly rejected from your offer for free for your offer of free labor there. Kiki.
If you were to approach Garrett at the moment, he is currently sitting by a tree, carving some ornate patterns into his staff. So you might ask him if you could add to the decor of it.
That is worth asking.
It is a wizard staff, so magic v magic. You got to be careful about that stuff, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Theo, Garrow is currently sitting on the edges of the current knight's camp, carving some patterns into his wizard staff. And as is suggested, maybe you having part in such a thing by using the magic knife.
If not, I'm certainly going to pop over there and go, ooh, What are you carving in your stick, mate?
I am also curious with this staff carving.
So you, as you approach Garrow, you may have noticed it previously, but his staff has several carvings in it, of various levels of ornateness. The ones near the top being a bit more crude, but getting more complicated as they go down the staff. It's up to about a third of the way down so far. When you ask him about it, he hands it to you if you're interested to take a closer look. It's a hobby of mine. I like to carve patterns into the staff of the arcane nature in order to both enhance its powers, but also to remind myself of epic battles past and epic lessons learnt. So this one right here represents a burning spider.
Uh,
I see. It's
Well,
like
as I'm
a
sure you
diary in
can-
stick form.
I suppose you could think of it that way. You see, the way it works in magic, my good friend, is the more knowledge you have, the more powerful it is. Thank you, Ginger. That's most kind of you, milady. I graciously hand it over to Gregory to add their own markings to it. As I was saying,
I kind of just want
as
to. I want to roll to see whether or not I
as I
know
was saying, the more
what
knowledge
he's
you have,
talking
the more
about.
powerful your magic will be. So, what I'm doing here is just enhancing the magic of my staff by adding more knowledge to it. Everyone is welcome, of course.
Like, I haven't had a wizard's education, but I would still like to, shall we say, check if I actually know what he's talking about.
I'm impressed. The detail on this spider's orb cavity is exquisite.
I would say if you want to roll an Arcana check to check the veracity of this Garrow's claims, I would say go ahead.
Oh, damn it.
You, as an artificer, are far more so intrigued by the magics of imbuing an item with raw magical potential rather than the practices of wizards and the like, which is more so a form of magic that uses the basis of almost speaking forth the cheat codes of the universe in order to bend the fabric of reality to your will. Your practices are far more material in nature, and as such, you don't really know if imbuing additional quote-unquote knowledge into the branch would allow for the increase of his potential as a wizard. It's simply an area beyond your expertise.
Well, I simply nod along and say, I see, very interesting.
I'm going to
Can
build
I-
on that actually a little bit, because whilst you're examining it and you turn it over, you do find on the back of the staff towards the top a series of crude arrows and glyphs that form a pattern of up, down, left, right, alpha, beta.
Nice.
This is life's code, is it not? Quite a fascinating.
That very nearly got your DM inspiration taken away from you, though. I hope you realise this.
I thought I'd already used my inspiration, but okay.
Did you? On what?
I want to talk.
on tossing CD in episode 8.
Yes, see.
No. But as a reward for getting to episode 10, I've given everyone DM inspiration.
Oh,
Really?
oh, nice.
Oh, really? Let me.
I shall keep that somewhere safe for later. Okay, let's see what's all right. So whilst Garrow's basically, blustering away, explaining the secrets of the Arcanus, arcane rather, he's probably not aware of what Gregory's doing with the staff. He's quite happy to let Gregory carve whatever he wants because he saw the ornate knife and therefore assumes there is some inherent power and expertise there.
Well,
I'm not sure whether Ginger's given us all inspiration as a reward for reaching episode 10 or as a means of having something to take away so we don't make awful puns.
well, Kiki, allow me to just dispel all of your fears and, most importantly, your conspiracy theory by saying yes.
Can I afterwards carve something as well?
Wait, one person at a time first. The staff can't be split into many pieces. All right, so are you handing the staff back to me when you're done, Gregory? Theo?
Just everybody do pay proper attention to what Theo is typing in the Discord chat, if you could.
Yes.
Yeah. I've brought it up now. I had it minimized, sorry.
Oh, no.
All right, so
Well,
if and when I get the new carving from Theo, I'd like to examine it with great interest to see if I can glean anything from it.
Okay, I would say, roll me an insight check, and
okay,
you can have advantage if you're able to speak Sylvan.
I only know a couple words because I've come from land not too far from the border, but as I said before, I've never met an elf, so I'm not very well versed.
Well,
besides Theo, obviously.
Sylvan is not a language spoken by the vast majority of elves.
In which case, I probably wouldn't know it at all then. Well, 15.
As I shouldn't have clicked that video, Marsh. Fuck you. As you examine the staff with this new piece of information that has been carved into its surface, you look and you see something that is entirely unlike anything else that you have ever seen before. The only thing that bears any vague resemblance being the very special dagger that you see hung gingerly from the belt of your elven companion, the Lady Gregory. But as you do so, you see as whilst this is most definitely a highly intricate and flowing structure of linguistics, you are entirely at a loss as to what its true meaning actually is. You can only assume that it is some ancient elven, perhaps imbuement of will, maybe.
I run my thumb along the grooves that Gregory has freshly carved into the staff in thought and nod my head slightly. And then turn to Gregory and say, that was very kind of you. Could you tell me a bit more about what this inscription may represent?
Well, whilst Theo types out that, is there anything else that anybody would like to do during this time?
I'm just comforting my rat.
By the way, we established earlier, Chase, that whenever you transform into one of your mechanical animal forms, your rat is much like the ejector seat of a fighter jet, simply pinged off into the distance. Harmlessly, but comically.
Fair enough.
Is your rat a bit upset because, you were spending time with another man today?
Actually, let me write something on your staff.
There's a queue. I think Grease wanted to go next.
Yeah, possibly.
Trig.
Yes. Sorry, I'd got a mouthful of samosa.
Yeah, that's fine. That's a very, very good reason not to speak.
Yes. Sure. I do not have any words, or this idea of imbuing an item with power with inscriptions is a little new to me. I've encountered something and patterns and so on things before and stuff in the monastery. But really, this is quite an exciting idea. I'm just wondering if it does it work on skin? Can you draw patterns and give a person power by I don't know drawing on them, or does it just work on objects like staffs and so on?
Well, as I said, certain symbols, and it doesn't have to be runes. It can be symbols of artistic import, and often it's things important to the person. But yeah, I have actually come across someone in my travels a few years ago who I'll get back to what Gregory's typed in a second. On my travels, that he had many tattoos all over him. In fact, now this may have been the drink talking. I have to be completely honest with you, but I do swear that one of them even winked at me at one point. But he swore that they helped him in combat and gave him protection and great powers. I have to admit, I cannot remember his name for the life of me, but it was somewhere in the north of here.
This sounds extremely exciting. You can adorn yourself with art and make yourself more powerful. That's very interesting.
Wait. Was that person wielding some great axe or other big stick?
No. Actually, he had a broadsword.
A broadsword. When he fought, was he angry?
I would say others who wish to do so, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check to see if you can glean any additional context from this odd story.
Did I roll as well, by chance?
Sure.
Hey, Arcana is lousy.
I was really hoping I got a natural one there.
Well, I got a natural one.
Yes, he did.
You know what? I'll swap roles with you if you like.
Okay.
Can we swap roles, please?
No. Okay.
If both people want to swap roles, sure. Why the fuck not?
I think it's only fair. He's getting too many natural ones anyway.
Yes, I'm hogging them, aren't I?
As soon as Garrow tells his little story, he just stops short, as if thinking to himself, as if he can't remember if any of that ever happened.
Well, as those of you who rolled a 15 or higher are listening to this story, you were all being reminded of stories of this other form of magical combat that you have heard of. Some of you would... Theo was able to get into the Roll20 session. Excellent. Yes, as you all go through the process of listening to this story and trying to glean some additional information, many of you are reminded of a class of arcane warrior who is practiced in the abilities of temporarily imbuing given items with magical potential before unleashing them on using intense martial art. Whereas Theo is somewhat reminded of perhaps the elven equivalent of these elite elven creatures and warriors who have the ability to bring forth magical potential through the very act of their martial arts weaving forth with the magical potential of the world, imbuing their abilities not only with offensive but also defensive force. And lastly, Gunnar, who rolled a 19, you are able to actually peg a name to this particular variety of warrior, and the name Rune Knight comes to mind.
Aha. What do I know of these rune knights?
Only that they are a class of martial wizard who have the ability to imbue a given item with magical potential that effectively allows such an individual to have access to both physical might and also magical might at the same time, which is unique upon most across most martial fighters, and usually they achieve their effects via mostly mundane forces.
Okay, I see.
But I just have to point out that given the true meaning of the carving that Theo did into the staff, and then the additional piece of context that he's typed out for us, well done. Good job there. That's very smart.
Okay. Is he
Yeah,
going?
no, I liked it as well.
Is it my turn to carve something in, or am I just still behind in the queue?
I mean, if we want to spend time on carving the stuff in here, or we can make it be a background thing that we come back to later. I don't want to hold people up, you know.
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah, okay. Well, with all that coming to a oh yes, that's probably a good idea, Theo. For reference, Gregory typed in. Oh, give me a minute. There we go. Gregory carved into the wood of Garrow's staff a Sylvan word, Sylvan being an ancient elven language that is currently what would basically be the elven equivalent to Latin, an ancient language that is very rarely spoken by anyone but the most well-educated and perhaps especially nerdy individuals within the Elven Empire, and has taken this language and chosen the word imbecile and carved the translation of such a term into the head of Garrow's staff, and then applied some additional context for Garrow, explaining that it is an elven marking of power and force, and roughly translates to brute force, and insists that it should be of some help. And no, Darcy Bill, Latin will never become the default language of the EU.
That's just because the French are salty and they don't like it being English.
Yeah. I must admit, I do find it highly entertaining that the Euros speak English by default. Ooh,
Yep.
Ooh, it's good. That is some. Ooh, yes.
That is what you
irony
get.
at its finest.
No, it's not. It's what you get for 2 world wars being won by the British. Right, English
You know-
speakers.
You know, if the EU decides to make Latin the universal language of the continent, then I would actually support that initiative.
I mean, it will actually. You know what? So would I, because it would just grind to a halt their entire infrastructure.
That
Oh
too.
my god, it would. Imagine how much of a problem they would have with trying to describe law and legislation in Latin. Just
Yeah, exactly.
imagine. This is a language that is entirely devoid of so many concepts such as mathematics and science and, most importantly, gender ideology. Ooh, I'm looking forward to this. Yes, I agree. Let's make Latin the default language of the EU.
Not only
Can
that,
we
they've got
stop
about
discussing
a
politics?
million tenses and conjugations of each verb. No, it would be hilarious. They would just grind everything to a halt.
That'd
Perfect.
be beautiful.
Yes. Now, can we get
They
back
had
to
to
the
sack all
story?
the old people because they couldn't possibly learn it.
What were you saying then, Chase?
I'm interested in politics as much as the other guy, but can we get back to the story now?
Sure.
Sorry.
So,
I was looking at
a
something
few,
else.
a couple of more days of travel go by with relatively little in the way of disturbances from natural dangers, wild animals, and the like. Although I'm sure on several occasions CD indulges in some wild bloodlust. But
Cast animal and knife to the throat is a valid hunting strategy, and I will have none of it.
you may be having none of it, but I'm sure Grace has other plans.
I do it
But all that aside,
out of eyesight. Let's just go.
all
Are you actually going to try and do that stealthily?
Well, you're not with me when I'm hunting, are you?
I mean, I guess that's true for the most part.
Well, here's the question. Chase, when you go hunting, how far away from the camp do you travel? And do you do so in animalistic form for increased mobility?
At first, if there isn't any big intelligent animals like deers and whatnot, if there isn't any of those animals, I go animalistic. If I suspect there is some smart animal around, I go human, and I just walk a very far distance away from. 1 second.
Okay, well,
A
I
very
would
far
say
distance
for the
away.
purposes of this entire journey, go ahead and roll for me a d20 to just simply determine the overall success of your hunting efforts. This isn't any kind of skill. This is literally just a flat d20 as a representation of how lucky you are.
Yes,
Well, well, well.
that's something absolutely useless.
During your travels, you find for the majority of the days in which you are making your way westward, you find that there is relatively little in the way of creatures, with you occasionally happening across the dismembered corpse of some unfortunate creature that you very rapidly put two and two together and realize, Scrack has been here. But on the 5th day of travel, you find something entirely unexpected. You find, isolated in a small pond, there is a majestic deer, a stag, with a pair of antlers the likes of which you have never seen before, entirely unblemished from combat. In fact, you can just about see the final remnants of the velvet-like fur having stripped away from them, meaning they are still bloody and fresh. This stag stands in an open pool, entirely unaware of your presence, simply enjoying some water.
I cast animal friendship.
So you get within 30 feet of the stag and you cast animal friendship.
Yes. I just come up, and at first I admire the creature, its majestic form, how absolutely beautiful it is. Like
Well,
honest to goodness admiration.
As you have managed to cast animal friendship before the creature was able to turn to see you, you see as you make your way towards it under the mind-altering effects of your spell, it simply looks at you and bows its head in admiration for your form.
I bow my head too as well. And then I come closer, truly just admiring the thing, and put my hand on its head, petting it.
You see that the creature initially gives you a look that's best described as, what the fuck are you doing? Before realizing that you're just giving it some head pats and seemingly just goes along with it. The effects of magic are truly mysterious.
Yes. And then, naturally speaking, I pull out my knife and cut its throat. In one fell swoop.
Alright. I would say roll me an attack check with advantage since it's clearly not expecting this.
Where's the dagger?
You should just have an attack.
With a dagger.
Yes, I would say, well, you are able to successfully land a strike on the deer. In fact, doing so is rapid and efficient, with you causing a whopping 2 piercing damage to the deer's neck, and in the process breaking the effects of the spell and causing the stag to go bounding away at speed, creating a variety of panicked noises. You can tell that you have deeply confused the creature and not even so much as mortally wounded it, but given it a rather
Oh, come on, I was
impactful.
holding it down.
You got 2
No,
damage,
you
dude.
weren't.
Okay, can I cast Thorn Whip?
I would say roll me a dexterity check to determine how quickly you are able to react to this thing suddenly and with great enthusiasm, bolting as quickly as possible.
Please be good, please be good, please be good. Yes, 19!
Alright, you were able to successfully cast Thorn Whip, and in the process, must make a melee spell attack against the target.
22.
Alrighty, let's see here. You successfully managed to strike the creature, and in doing so managed to pull the deer an additional 10 feet closer towards you, once again putting it within melee range of your dagger. At this point, you see as the stag is now entirely turned against you, no longer able to fly, the fight or flight response has kicked in, and it is turned to fight you. I'm going to say, roll me an initiative roll.
With
Just
advantage
go
or
ahead
not?
and take everybody.
Since I
No,
have
this is just a standard roll.
12.
Okay.
So 13 plus 0.13.
And now let me just quickly roll for the stag, which is an 18. I'm going to go ahead and just randomly drag something into the... Yeah, sure, let's go with that.
By the way, just for this hunting, Statui is also helping me.
I see. Good to know. So, I would say Ratatouille is able to make its own attacks, and if able to successfully attack the deer, in turn will allow you to have advantage. But the deer goes first. I'm going to go ahead and roll an attack against you, so... Actually, you know what? Give me a moment. I'm going to see if there is a stop block for a stag. Let's see. Sure, this works.
Don't you dare make it a giant fucking white stag.
Right, so let's roll a d20 and add 6. Does an 18 hit you?
Let me check. Yes, an 18 hits me.
Alrighty then. As such, the creature is able to rear up onto its hind legs and slams into you with its front hooves, dealing 13 damage as both hooves come crashing down onto you. You effectively get what amounts to a donkey style kick to the chest.
All right. I use my turn to transform because I'm going to do that into that giant spider.
All right.
Let's see how well formed I am.
Have you healed since taking significant burning damage to your
Oh, I didn't take it. It was the
internal
bonus.
cavity?
It was my form. I was able to tank fully the damage.
Yes. Okay.
With my bonus HP.
And you're going to turn back into the thing that's already injured. Okay.
No, it's not already injured. It's normal.
Okay.
Hang on. Chase, just to be clear, you didn't transform before this thing just attacked you. It's now your turn, which means now you have the ability to transform.
Yes, I transformed.
You've just taken that 13 damage directly to your main hit points, just to be clear.
Yes, I did move it from my main hit point. I'm now 21 with my max hit point being 34.
All right. So, you transform into the giant spider. Describe to me what you do. The giant elk has witnessed your sudden transformation, but doesn't seem to have backed away, with it still having what can best be described as murderous intent.
Oh, it sees that same murderous intent as well in the eyes of the giant spider. It's very, very keen on murdering each other.
Mm.
And as such, you said I can transform and attack, right?
I said that you can transform and attack on the same turn. So you use your action to transform, and then you get to make one melee attack.
All right, I can only do one melee attack after all. I bite it, so +5 to hit. Does a 12 hit? Wait, I do have advantage because I'm fighting with Tatooine. Tatooine is also attacking the creature.
Tatooine gets ejected from you when you transform. We just covered that about 10 minutes ago.
I just said that he is also helping me fight the creature.
And then you transformed.
No. Tatooine would have hopped off of Chase's form when he transformed.
That's what
I'm going to allow him to do this, but you first have to roll an attack using the stats of a giant rat.
Giant rat. All right. Let me just bite.
I'm going to say you only get advantage if Tatooine's attack also hits first.
All right. Shit.
Which it doesn't.
All right.
I'm sorry, Chase, but there's only so much a large rat can do against a fully grown antler wielding elk.
It's all right.
Or stag. But you attempt to strike forth with your giant spider form and unfortunately miss, meaning unless you choose to run away, it is now the turn of your prey.
Just as a bonus action, after he sees that my bite doesn't hit, he suddenly sees it coated with this sickly green liquid. As a bonus action, I coat my own fangs in poison.
All right, good to know. So, at that, the creature once again rears up and attempts to slam down on your form. Let me just roll a hack again for another attack. I assume a 24 hits.
Holy shit.
How high are you fucking rolling? Yes, it does hit.
Well, let's go ahead and roll damage once again. This time, the creature only manages to land an attack on you for 9 damage, but immediately afterwards, turns and sprints away at speed. You have the opportunity to make an attack of opportunity using your reaction.
An attack of opportunity. All right, I do make an attack of opportunity. Let me just get my best roll. And Tatooine also gets 1.
Sure.
Does 14 hit?
14 just hits.
Nice. I assume wait. Does he still move if the attack of opportunity hits?
He still moves, yes.
All right. Now let me just adjust my health. All right. Now the rat also attacks. Does a 17 hit?
17 definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage for these 2 attacks.
All right. First of all, the rat. 24 plus, what's the modifier again? Fucking mouse. Plus 2.
Probably a 1d4 plus 2.
Yeah. So he takes 6 points of damage. And
all right.
I do a 1d8 plus 3.
Go ahead.
$10.
Okay. You deal a total of 10 damage to the creature.
Plus 6, so 16.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But as these 2 attacks land on the elk as it goes bounding away at speed, you see that it doesn't appear to be coming back. And with that,
but it's my
unless
attack
you're
now,
able
right?
to... the creature is able to get a total of 60 feet away from you.
I still have 1 attack left. Web recharge, a web attack.
Okay, what is the reach of that attack?
60 feet.
Well, let's hope it hits.
What's its modifier? Plus 5 to hit. All right, please hit. 20.
That most definitely hits. Now, go ahead and roll. Go ahead and post for me the stats of your giant spider form so that I can take a look at myself and see what needs to be rolled in response.
Here is the D&D Beyond stuff. To
Thank
hit,
you.
the target is restrained by whipping. As an action, the restrained target can make a DC 12 check, strength check, busting the whipping on success.
All right. And it looks like it doesn't actually do any damage.
Yeah, but can we say that because it's star and not actual whipping, it has a higher DC to...
No,
strength check
it doesn't
on
have a
whipping?
high. It doesn't have a higher
alright.
DC now.
All right. Fine.
Oh, I thought you weren't
But
getting wet.
the target has been successfully restrained. So, you have managed to restrain it. I assume you move 30 feet up to it on your turn.
Yes, me and Tatooine.
Okay. And with that, it now moves on to the elk's turn once again. It is going to attempt to break free from the webbing by rolling a strength check. Let's see. That would be a 1d20 plus 4, which adds up to a 7. It does not manage to break free from the webbing and is restrained in place for the remainder of its turn. So you'll go again.
All right. I make it up to the creature, and again I bite.
All right, go ahead.
Wait, I attacked him the first time, right? He should take damage.
Yes, you did manage to land a bite earlier, and you rolled 10 damage earlier as well.
Yeah, but it's with the special poison, isn't it?
All right, well, you haven't rolled for that damage. I assumed that you weren't using up your poison for this.
Yeah, I thought you
No,
only
no,
had the poison if you applied it
Yeah,
with
but
something in your inventory.
Ginger already gave me the ability to apply it when I'm in my animal form. The poison that I have has takes 2d8, and the DC save for it is 14 instead of the giant spiders, which is 11.
All right. Well, in that case, go ahead and roll for me the damage of the poison from your previous attack, as well as rolling another attack for this current turn.
All right. So an 8 poison damage.
All right, you managed to land 8 points of poison damage on the target.
All right. First of all,
Let's just double check this. Okay.
So you're hunting something and then you're just going to squirt poison into it, so it's completely useless to anyone to eat or anything.
No. The poison isn't.
It's poison.
It's specifically designed for hunting.
Hunters don't usually use poison. Same.
Shut up.
Chase, it is now once again your turn. The target is restrained in front of you. Go ahead and do as you will.
First of all, Tatooi's attack, since he also came up with me.
Okay.
It's a 17 hit.
A 17 does indeed hit.
So I have. Let's roll his damage first, which is 2d. What's again? 2d4 plus.
No, that.
1d4 plus 2. Sorry. 6.
Another 6. Big
Yes.
ouch.
And now I roll damage, an attack, but with advantage. So I roll once, and I roll
definitely
twice.
hit.
Okay, I definitely hit. I roll again. 1d8 plus 3. A 4.
As you manage to sink your teeth into the flesh of the creature once again, you just about manage to get your fangs into its flesh, and you can see by this point the creature is very much so not in a good way. You would guess maybe one more successful strike would be enough to render it completely.
First, let's roll the damage from the poison. Or is it on its turn?
No. Go ahead and roll damage from the poison. And in fact, I'm just going to say you don't even need to roll, because you had 2 hit points left.
Ooh, nice.
So, after injecting a significant amount of additional poison into the deer's body, you see as it simply flops to the side and goes entirely unconscious.
Woo! CD says as he transforms back into a human. Fuck yeah! I got you!
Make a medicine check for me.
Alright. Please make it a 14.
It takes a bit of double checking, but you do manage to find that the elk is still alive. It has been successfully not only poisoned, but also paralyzed by the effects of your giant spider form, resulting in the creature being entirely incapable of doing, well, anything reasonable or fight backworthy.
All right.
This
So
is now entirely at your mercy.
can I make sure that the poison doesn't affect the quality of the meat somehow?
Nope.
Shut up.
It's retarded.
Shut up.
This is beyond fucking retarded. Can I just be the only person to say this? Poisoning a
Shut
fucking
up.
hunted animal is beyond fucking retarded.
Shut up.
No,
Can I-
don't tell me to shut up again. I dare you. I'm getting pissed off with this dude.
Ah, for fuck's sake. Calm the fuck down. It's only a game.
Trick. It's as I typed, it's land fugu. Most of it will kill you, but one small part of it's tasty food.
Can I? Come on, please.
I'm going to just sum this up for you now, CD.
Just say no.
This creature has been poisoned significantly with now 3 separate injecting strikes. This creature has been filled with a series of toxins that have permeated every single one of its tissues, and unless given significant time to allow its natural processes to metabolize and dispel the effects of the poison, these poisons will remain inside its flesh after butchering.
All right. I want to see. Ah, it's all right because after I butcher it, I cast Profile Food and Drink. So I just
And you see, as the spell fizzles due to the fact that it is not yet food, as the creature is still
no,
alive.
after I did say after I butcher it, but all right, it's my fault. So I just give it. I just go down on one knee next to it. You fought well.
I'm
And
going
just-
to be fair and say that the spell doesn't fizzle and you just simply cast it later. But yes, carry on.
Yeah, and I just cut its neck and make sure it dies peacefully. Well, as peaceful as possible.
You can see a distinct look of fear and terror in the creature's frantically moving eye, despite the fact that it is completely incapable of reacting physically to your touch. As you slip the knife into its neck, you get the distinct feeling that this poor creature spent its final moments racked with fear, terror, and a variety of, well, toxic substances flowing through its veins.
And that, children, is where halal comes from.
I murdered it, so it's halal in the name of Allah. No, I'm joking. I just cut its throat out and make sure it dies.
Well, make sure you get all the blood out of it. You wouldn't want it to be trafe.
You know, that's actually a good point. I make sure it bleeds to death. From its
Isn't
throat.
Well,
isn't
by
isn't fear a lot of heavy activity and drugs a sign of a good night out?
It's a good point.
As a sign of what? I didn't
So
catch
you-
that.
so
point.
you're-
You
You're
gave it
suggesting-
one. You gave it both a
Are
one night
you-
stand and a stag do.
Christ. Yes. In either case, the creature has been successfully butchered, and I would say, describe to me via DMs how you end up dealing with the rest of this, so that we can move on with the rest of the party and the rest of the session.
I'll describe it in a bit. I need to do something. Be right back.
All right.
Right.
So
So,
now that CD has once again proven that he is truly the most morally reprehensible member of the party, what do the rest of you do during his absence?
I take some umbrage to that statement because you've ignored Trig. He's clearly the most evil of us.
I am not evil.
I would say he has some stiff competition at this point.
That is fair, actually. So, if we may wind back to the point where CD went off hunting, as he just stomps off into the woods, I raise an eyebrow at my comrades and say, what's up with him? Where's he off to?
I don't know. I thought we were going to go and chase after this after Scrack, but he does this occasionally. He's probably off murdering
Well,
animals again.
Do bear in
Probably one of
mind
those
that
weird
this
things from
hunting
the
trip
giant
would have
forest.
this hunting trip would have taken place during the time in which the party was setting up camp and bedding down for the night.
Oh, so
Hope
we
he isn't
probably didn't
using
watch them
those
leave.
vile, cowardly tactics again.
Oh,
Well, we could always.
whatever do you mean, my lady?
He likes to convince them he's their friends and then sneak up on them and slit their throats.
Why, that is most dastardly and ungentlemanly. I
Heinous,
have
and
to say, I'm disappointed.
I've warned him. Should he do such an act again, I shall be the one to take his head from his shoulders.
Well, given your feats in our last great endeavour, I have no doubt you are quite capable of it. I mean, the man can barely stand up to a breeze from what I've seen.
I can
By the
only hope
way,
that he's learned.
one of the as you are describing these dastardly methods through which CD does his hunting, one of the kobolds you see walks over to the conversation and says, "Oh, that kind of sounds like how the goblins do their hunting."
Yeah, sounds about right. He is basically a large goblin.
Perhaps he's related to the goblins. We should have words with this crack. He might be very interested.
Nah,
No.
it's a bit tall for a goblin, don't you think?
Yeah.
Before we go throwing our own
Maybe-
body off the
Maybe several goblins in a trench coat.
Wait, hang on. No, I have seen. Well, no, I haven't seen it, but I have heard. But actually, no, I didn't hear. But I have heard stories of people who have seen goblins turn into animals. He died.
Yeah.
Probably because
what a
the
shame.
said goblin that turned itself into an animal also convinced it was his friend and then cut his throat in the night.
You see, just wanders off again. Apparently, entirely done with that conversation.
As am I. I shall simply
Oh,
bed down for the night.
I turn to my fellow adventurers, and I have to ask them earnestly. Good friends, I know it might be a bit odd to ask, but what are these creatures that are all around us?
These would be kobolds. They are companions of Scrack, and companions of ours. You know, they're all right. They're just, you know, they're kind of chill. They're just helping us find our way through towards Scrack, who's asked us to, you know, help him fight goblins.
Does Skrek look like these hard-working folk?
No, he's a lot bigger. He looks more like. Have you ever seen a crocodile?
Do you mean those things that the women of high repute turn into handbags?
Yes. Yeah, he looks like a really large one of those, but walks around on his back legs and is generally a bit on the slightly scary side. But seems like an alright guy.
I would say that the pair of you are only familiar with the term crocodile through the likes of textbooks and, in Garrow's case, perhaps some use of illusion magic to produce interesting-looking projections.
Well,
if it's not a good frame of
during
reference,
Garrow's
then
travels,
just a big-ass
ahead.
lizard, basically. Big-ass, scary lizard. Actually, he seems alright.
No, Garrow nods his head. He's actually thankful you gave that extra detail. He's heard the word crocodile, as Ginger said, but only in relation to a couple of bars he's been at, which has had some highborn people there. Again, handbags.
Yeah,
Certainly.
he's alright. He doesn't drink. He doesn't drink booze, which I find a bit off-putting personally. But you know, other than that, he's alright.
He's certainly a powerful individual.
Powerful individual, you say? Well,
Oh, of
coming
course.
from you, that is high praise indeed.
His swings hold great promise.
Oh
You
my!
know, one of the kobolds overhearing this just calls over. Yeah, I beat the crap out of you.
That he did. It was a most impressive
heartily
feat.
at that, and you know what? He's going to take Trigg's flask just so he can raise it in response to that, even if Trigg doesn't offer it.
Yeah, no, sure. Hey, by all means.
And he takes a hearty swig from it. My good man, this stuff, I tell you, I cannot get enough of it. It is great stuff. You will have to tell me where you came across it.
Well, I do believe that this flask is actually the last of his supply of this particular variety of booze.
Oh no, seriously?
Yes.
We're gonna have to do something about that, aren't we, Trig?
We need to refill the flask at some point. Yes. It is not bottomless.
Well, that is just depressing to hear.
Though I do believe the current liquid in the flask is the is it not the liquid that you are not allowed to return to the place that you received it from?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Which is the precise reason why it's the last of his supply. Yes. Speaking of, by the way, Trig, I would say that over the course of this session, through various dippings in by Groose, as well as offering swigs and other offerings to the rest of the party,
I've knocked the best part of 3 pints of wine off so far this session.
Okay. I was going to suggest 2, but I guess Groose is an even heavier drinker than what I pegged him for.
Yep.
What are you pegging Groose for?
Was having quite a few swigs while you were frying an egg. We would have done rolls for it, but I wasn't sure what rolls to make.
Well, I would say that it's, just for future reference, it's Constitution saving throws, but only after you've already gotten considerably drunk. 1 pint would an entire pint of wine would incur a Constitution saving throw with a DC of 10.
Really? Okay, must be strong stuff.
Well,
yes, it's
sometimes.
Wine.
Yeah,
it's good wine.
Sometimes you can have a swig of wine and drink an entire pint of the stuff, which is, I would say, roughly equivalent to a smallish bottle of wine, and well, that might be enough to get somebody at least a fair bit tipsy.
Fair enough. Right, well, at this juncture, since everyone's probably set up their camp for night, Gero will politely excuse himself from the party as he needs to go, let's say, meditate his spells, and he will go find a clearing near to the camp, but not too far away, so he can still react if anything happens.
All right.
We're not going into details of said meditation, but people are, of course, willing to eavesdrop if they want.
Well, would you like to DM me with such details, or would you rather keep that a secret from the DM too?
Sure. No. I will type something to you whilst people do stuff.
All right, sounds good. So, in the meantime, is there anything anybody else wishes to get done? Otherwise, we will move on to the next morning with the party having reconvened at the site of the camp.
I'm back.
All right.
If anyone asks,
yes.
tell them that. Yeah.
Sorry, Chase, but Theo did say something earlier that completely blanked my mind. Grace, would you be interested in aiding Gregory in looking into the origins of the dagger from a more religious standpoint?
I very much would. Would you like me to roll some religion?
Well, I believe Theo can roll a religion check on his end, but it would be up to the pair of you to determine who does the roll and who is providing advantage.
In that case, I shall say that I have, on my religion check, a +1.
In that case, it's probably best that Theo does the rolling.
I can
My
assist.
faith-
I can assist with the religion checks if you like. Being a monk, I have a +2 to religion.
My faith is very complex.
Well, in what initially starts out as a series of blustering dead ends in terms of potential directions of inquiry as to the origins of the dagger, Grace is soon able to help correct the course of these musings and provide some additional insight that leads Gregory to suddenly having a switch flip in his head and coming to an additional conclusion on the matter. And I will DM to you, Theo, the details of this sudden revelation at a later date. But needless to say, you would probably notice, Kiki, that Gregory, upon studying this dagger and listening to you wax lyrical about what matters of the divine you were able to conjure up, seemingly has a form of epiphany, but is reluctant to provide any further details. And just to be clear, I have come up with something, but it would take a little bit of time to type out. If you guys wouldn't mind waiting whilst I do so, you can talk about other things in the meantime.
I'm going to carry on talking to Gara about this idea of intricately carving things into items and weapons and perhaps onto skin to get them power. This is become deeply fascinating to Groose, I must
Arrow
admit.
would love to engage in conversation with you, but he's not currently in your presence, so you would have to go to him.
Okay, I will.
You did see him head off to a clearing not too far from where the camp is. He didn't explicitly say that he needed to be left alone, but when he left, he said he was going to meditate for his spells.
Okay. Okay. No, I understand about meditation. I also have to meditate for at least half an hour every night to get my key back.
I can imagine Groose at the monastery being like, hey, monks, you meditating over there. Oi, stop ignoring me. Are you meditating? Tell me about your meditating. Is it fun? What's it feel like?
that
Well,
does sound like something you would do.
I will. You know what? I will take a wander over there. Just you know what? It's a good spot to meditate. Maybe I will do some meditation with him, or just generally have a bit of a wander, see what he's up to.
Right. As you approach the direction in which he went, Ginger, I hope you won't have any problem with me assuming that he finds his way there without issue.
I would say it's quite likely that he would be able to follow the sounds of activity.
Yes. As you approach, you hear the sounds of someone engaged in heavy concentration, shall we say. Whoever is in the clearing, well, it's obviously Garo, but is definitely quite focused on something and is definitely putting their whole body and mind into it.
Okay. I'm gonna get a little closer and try and see exactly what is happening here, because this sounds odd, to say the least.
As you peek through the trees towards the clearing, you can see Garrow basically doing a series of squats, and between each squat, a couple shadow boxing.
Exercise and calisthenics. I know this well.
Yes. You can also see from looking at his face that he is in somewhat of a trance. He is properly into this.
Is this a particular routine that's repeated? Is this something? Because if it is, I'd like to join in on this. This reminds me of practices back at the old monastery, of doing generally sort of martial arts training. You do exactly that type of thing, lots and lots of repetitive training and exercise and so on. And I'm looking at this going, oh well, I know this type of stuff. I'll join in. This is a good chance to bond and perhaps have a bit of a giggle.
So if you watch for about 5 minutes or so, you do notice there is a pattern to the routine. He is definitely putting all his body into his movements, and he goes through a series, as I say, squats, shadow boxing. I forget the term for this, but it's like we do a press up and then you jump straight up from it.
Okay.
You know the one I mean, I hope.
Yeah. Are we talking one-handed or two-handed press-ups? But yeah, you press up and you push up hard. You push hard enough up to be able to basically pull your legs in underneath you and stand straight up, and then you can probably drop
straight up, jump up with your arms in the air, and then go back down and repeat. Yeah.
So okay, into a star jump and then back down again. Good exercise.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they're called like dummies or something, aren't they?
I will join in and copy this if I may.
Garrett doesn't appear to notice you as you step into the clearing. Although, as you start to copy him, when you do make a misstep in the rhythm, you kind of hear him grunt in disapproval, but he doesn't say anything. And just redoubles his efforts, as if to say to you that you need to try harder.
Okay.
What you can take away from this, though, once you get into rhythm, is it is very similar to what you did in the monastery, though a lot less refined. You get the feeling that Garrow may have come up with this whole routine completely independently.
Cool. Can I once I've mastered this, can I also throw in some extra practice of my own in terms of my drunken boxing, etc., which is a bit more acrobatic? A bit of jumping, landing on one hand, double kicking over the top, then landing back, reaching over behind myself and doing extra punches, and then doing some rolls and tumbling, and just generally the sort of stuff you might see in a Jackie Chan movie.
The word we were searching for was burpees.
So there you go. I will throw in an acrobatics check just to see how.
So, if everything you're doing would actually be practical and actually help in the whole process, then you will meet Garrow's approval. If you are just showing off, he won't be impressed.
No, it's all good, solid kung fu. It is all good kung fu practice, but it is drunken style, so it looks a little unusual. But there will be stuff being sort of branches being kicked into, etc. And the power of these moves is clear, shall we say?
Okay.
But they're odd looking.
After you start working this into your routine, Garrett doesn't say anything, doesn't stop, but you do notice he alters his routine to match your tempo, though he doesn't use any of your techniques.
Cool.
And you get the feeling that he does have a positive response to this.
Excellent.
Interesting.
This makes me smile.
So, would perhaps would Groose like to roll a performance check in order to have effectively been serving the purpose of a workout video, only live and in person?
Certainly.
Nice.
Are we going to get some kind of hybrid class now? You know, the drunken wizard.
Where this is going to end up, I imagine, is turtle suits and VHS cassettes.
Absolutely.
Annika Rice is going to turn up any moment now.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God. The leg warmers. Ah!
Do you guys remember Mr. Motivator?
Oh, Mr.
my
Motivator
God,
was
yes.
amazing.
Cringe,
Oh.
but yes.
That's a little before my time, I'm afraid.
Oh.
Oh, what channel was that? That was Channel 3, wasn't it?
I think it was early morning TV. It was, I think it might have been, it was either BBC or ITV.
It was whatever came before GMT. I remember that. God, that takes me back, dude. So after about an hour of this, if you're still able to keep up, the Garrow will basically hit a natural stopping point.
Excellent. Once you stopped, I will stop and grin and go, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
So I don't know about Bruce, but Garrow, he's definitely worn out from that. He's not even trying to hide it. He's not completely knocked down, but he needs to catch his breath. And he turns to you, he smiles and says, "Well, look, you're quite the performer, my good friend, but I have to say, maybe I could learn a thing or two from you. You clearly have engaged in wizardly meditation of your own in the past, I can see."
I wouldn't say wizardly meditation, but certainly monkly meditation.
Monkey, you say?
Yes, we monks have fighting styles, which is, not dissimilar from your own. From what I've noticed, there's a lot of punching, a lot of kicking. There's a lot of acrobatics and athletics and misdirection, leading people to think you're going one way, then you strike another way. But generally, very similar. I think we have a lot to learn from each other, to be honest. You certainly
Indeed.
seem to have the power that I lack. But yes, that was fun. That was yes, we can learn, I'm sure.
Well, I tell you, my good man, look, I am but a humble gentleman, as you know. But that move you did there at the end of the cycle, that was very interesting. I'd very much like to learn how you pulled that off.
Certainly, what the spinning with the bending over backwards and the punching behind and then the flipping straight over with the kick. Yeah, it takes a bit of practice, I will tell you that, but I will try and teach you if I can.
Garrow laughs heartily and slaps you on the back. Yes, that sounds brilliant. What do you say we start right here, right now?
Perhaps we could take a few minutes for a quick breather and a drink, but yeah, sure, absolutely.
Oh, of course, hydration is very important.
Absolutely.
You cannot meditate on without water.
Water, yes, quite. I'll pass him I'll take a swig from my flask.
When he says that. And takes a very hearty swig.
Absolutely.
So, as the two grown men walk off into the forest alone and spend over an hour demonstrating to each other their prowess and feats of stamina before exchanging fluids.
Don't forget returning sweaty.
Returning extremely sweaty, flushed, and a little woozy.
Somewhat dishevelled. but with big smiles on their faces.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, I think, unless anything else needs to be done, I'm going to look at the clock, realize it's 3 minutes till midnight, and say we are going to bring an end to the session here with the next session having picked up with the party finally reuniting with the warlord Scrack.
Yay! Awesome. Finally, I get to meet the hero, the legend. Sorry.
So, I do apologize about the about this session being a little short, as the bare minimum of approximately 3 hours.
Yeah, but
And
we had a
it's
we had
having
a
started so ridiculously late.
yes, but
At the very least, we can say with a great degree of confidence that Trig Sound has finally been sorted.
Oh my! Why would you say that?
you know the thing is that his
It's
thing
not going
is
to work next time.
everything we went through is I have gone through everything over and over again. I've not been able to fix it. I've been playing around with levels. Thought I'd got it. It seemed to work better in one Discord but in Cabal not. And yeah, if it wasn't for the suggestion of this voice meter, we'd still be having this problem. But yeah, no, thank you to Uzlu for the tech support there. That was
Yes.
I didn't even know of this software's existence. So without it, we'd have been stuffed. But
It was, if I recall, Chase's favourite part of the session.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I would say that everybody enjoyed that part of the session so much that we actually forgot to hit record, which is why all of that is absent from the recording, which is a terrible shame.
yes.
But yes, I hope everybody has enjoyed themselves to some extent or another.
Mhm.
And hopefully next week you'll get to either fight with or against Scrack himself. Should be interesting.
Ominous.
Interesting indeed.
Are we doing Monday or Tuesday next week?
Monday, as usual, unless something gets in the way, as it did this week. Which, again, I apologise for. But would you like to end the recording here, Trig, before my cuckoo clock goes nuts? Oh, too late.
There we go. Right.
Now you can hit stop.
Now we can sit stop. Okay, that was fun. As I'm ending the stream, as of now.
Excellent.
So I'm